The story of the woman who carried glory, the life of Kathryn Kuhlman. Long ago, in a small town called Concordia, Missouri, on May 9, 1907, a baby girl was born to her humble German-American family. Her name was Kathryn Kuhlman. No one could have guessed the fire she would carry. No one saw it coming, but heaven knew her name. As a young girl, Kathryn loved to talk to Jesus, not with big words, just simple prayers. She was only 14 years old when she gave her life to Christ. In a small Baptist revival, something happened to her that day, something that would never leave her. She met the Holy Spirit, and she would never be the same. She wasn't a preacher's daughter. She had no great training, but she had one thing many people lose along the way: a surrendered heart. As a teenager, she followed her sisters and brother-in-law as they preached in small towns, warehouses, chicken farms, dirty barns, no microphone, no crowd, just faith. And soon, Kathryn began preaching too. She was only 21, but the fire in her bone was already burning. Kathryn traveled. She preached. She spoke with tears in her eyes and light in her voice. People came in wheelchairs and walked out old. Tumors vanished, hearts healed, not because Kathryn touched them, but because the Holy Spirit filled the room. She never claimed the glory. She always whispered, "Don't look at me, look at Jesus." But even the most anointed can still be human. Kathryn fell in love with a preacher named Boris Wartrip. He was divorced, and despite her heavy heart, she married him. It nearly destroyed her ministry. People left. The Holy Spirit warned her. But what hurt the most was what it did to her inside. Years later, with tears in her eyes, she said, "I made a mistake. I loved him, but I loved God more." And so she walked away from the marriage, from the shame, back to her calling. Then came the days of miracles. She preached to thousands. She stood in places like Carnegie Halls and Shrine, auditoriums. Her voice was gentle, but the atmosphere shifted like heaven walked in behind her. People wept. People screamed. People were healed. The power of the Holy Spirit was not a theory. It was real. She never shouted. She never begged. She said simply, "He is here. The Holy Spirit is here." And He came. But the time came when even the vessel must be poured out fully. In 1975, her body began to fail. Her organs weakened, but her spirit stronger than ever. And then came the moment. February 20th, 1976, she had already said it. "I shall die on February 20th at 1:13 a.m. Please, only roses at my funeral." And at 1:13 a.m., just as she said, she left. No irregular heartbeat, no fading rhythm, just silence, just glory. And then the power went out. The entire 800-bed hospital blackout in America. Lights out, machines dead, as if heaven had touched the wires. A new nurse, her first day on the job, and she did not believe in God. She was told to go check Kathryn's pulse, but when she entered the room, she stopped in her track. Kathryn wasn't cold, she wasn't warm, she was hot, in the air thick with the smell of roses. Not just one room, not just one floor, 4 hospitals' floors were overtaken, and the fragrance drifted across the street into the other hospital. But there were no roses in the building, none. Trembling, the nurse said, "We couldn't stand in that room. The presence of God was so heavy. We could barely breathe. I fell into a chair. I didn't believe, but I knew I just touched heaven." And there, in Kathryn's diary, were Kathryn's last word. "I shall die on February 20th at 1:13 a.m. Please, only roses at my funeral." She was met, not with sorrow, but with millions of roses, and the voice of the one she loved above all. "Welcome home, Kathryn." She left no children, but she left a legacy of faith, of surrender, of the Holy Spirit. If God could use her, a simple girl from Missouri, He can use you. But the question is, will you let Him? Please like and subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. Thank you.